Good morning, Open Heart family. It is good to be here with all of you today on this last Sunday in February. Namaste. I greet you. I bless you. I see God in you. Our theme this month is Living from the Heart. The talk title, or the title of my talk today, is Love Feast. And the text today comes from the words of Ricky Byers. I thought it was my duty. I thought it was my job. Somewhere I believe loving God was hard, but loving God is wonderful, and loving God is ecstasy. Let's just take a few seconds to focus, center. While I was serving as the associate pastor at First AME in Pasadena around this time of year, one of the wonderful parishioners, Mimi Swain, was letting me know that for Lent, she was going to fast from sugar, caffeine, and meat. And I looked at her wonderful husband, Papa, and I was like, are you safe in the house while she's giving up all these things? And we all had a good laugh. And that there is something important about fasting. And during this sacred time of Lent, and this weekend of the full moon in Virgo, and we're a few weeks away from the spring equinox, I want to encourage us to fast, but also to feast on some things as we release during this full moon weekend and let go. We winterize those things that we don't want to take with us into the spring, and we do it full moon in Virgo with Virgo poise, with Virgo planning, and with practicality, that I'm releasing those things. No, what are you releasing? Stop saying I'm releasing those things that no longer serve me. Call them out, name them, write them down, get a plan and do it. That's the Virgo way. Because when we release ways of being and thinking that are not in alignment with our Christ consciousness, we make room for the expansion of the divine creative spirit within all of us. And these are the principles and the ways of creating and living our best lives. So during this Lenten season, I want to encourage all of us to not just to fast from foods if you do that, but with the help of Pope Francis, yes, going on the Catholic route today, to fast from some attitudes, to fast from hurting words, to fast from sadness, to fast from anger and pessimism, from worrying, from complaints, from stressing out, from bitterness, from selfishness, grudges, and to fast from talking all the time. Yes, let us fast from hurtful words that we say to ourselves, and hurtful words that we say to others, or hurtful words that people have said to us in the past, like you're white trash, or you some ghetto blah blah. Or you're never going to amount to anything, or you're always clumsy, or you're going to be a failure, or your family's always poor. You can't become anything because no one in your family ever has. And let's fast from those hurtful words and hurtful words that we may have said in anger or frustration. Let us release those things, for they no longer serve us. And that hurtful words plant seeds that grow in the future. So this beautiful poem that I heard in the second grade over 50 years ago has stuck with me all these years. Children learn what they live. So we use criticizing words, we plant seeds of condemnation. And if we use hostile words, we plant seeds for fighting and fractiousness. And if we use fearful words, we are planting the seeds for apprehension. And if we are pitying words, then we teach people to be sorry for themselves, or we're planting those seeds. And if we ridicule, we teach people to be shy, that they can't be them true selves. And if we plant words of guiltiness or shame, we treat people to be guilty. And let us fast from worrying. Worrying either about the past or the future, or what could have been, or what should have been, or what I could have done, or what I should have said. This is the moment we have right now. This is our moment. Eckhart Tolle says, realize deeply that the present moment is all you and I will ever have. Make now the primary focus of our lives. What can I do now? What can I release right now that will open up windows of opportunity and gladness and love and joy? What can I do right now? And then lastly, to release grudges. Last month I talked about Mrs. Whitfield, a lady at my first assignment who was just awful to me. But as I've gone through the journey, and I held a grudge for a long time, but as I've gone through the journey, I was able to talk about it last month and to realize that she had had so much hurt in her life, so much rejection in her life, so much just unlovingness in her life that she didn't have love to give. And now I see her as a person that I could have been better to. And so I released the grudge I had against her and love her, knowing now that as she has passed away, that she is in the eternal loving arms of God. And that grudges don't change anything. Here's a quote from Tony Gaskins. If you can't do anything about it, then let it go. Don't be a prisoner to things you can't change. And this isn't about doing it this instant, but it's first about setting the intention, having the willingness, and then opening to the guidance of spirit. That fasting from hurtful words, worries, and grudges are a journey. It's a process. It's a healing and a revealing of the divinity within. And as Maya Angelou says, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. But I don't want this message to be all doom and gloom, so there are some things that we need to fast from. But there are also some things that I want us to feast on. That's what love feast. And Ricky Byer is talking about how when she was doing things in a religious way, she didn't know the love and the ecstasy of God. But when she got into love, she realized that loving God is wonderful. And that feasting on love is what we are here to do. Showing love and being love is what we are here to do. And how do I show love and be love? I get as much love. You get as much love as we can. So I want to go back to that quote from Pope Francis and complete it. Fast from hurting words and say kind words. Feast on kindness. Fast from sadness and be filled with gratitude. Feast on gratitude. Feast on being grateful. Have an attitude of gratitude. Feast from anger. Fast from anger and feast on patience. Fast from pessimism and be filled with hope. Feast on hope. Fast from worries and feast on trusting in God. Fast from complaints and feast on being grateful for the simple things around you. Fast from bitterness and feast on joy. Fast from selfishness and feast on being compassionate. Fast from grudges and feast on being reconciled. And fast from words and feast on silence and listening. All of these things are giving us the opportunity to stand on the foundation of love. Even the poem, Children Learn What They Live, that if we can feast on those things that are empowering and loving and gracious, they grow up a harvest of more love. For if children live with tolerance, they learn to be patient. If children live with encouragement, they learn to be confident. If they live with praise, they appreciate. If they live with kindness and consideration, they learn respect. If they live with approval, they learn to like themselves. And if they live with acceptance and friendliness, they find love in the world. Love, kindness, acceptance, encouragement, and praise, all aspects of love. Feasting on that love plants more seeds of love, which grows a harvest of love, which gives us more love to feast on. Feast on love. Love is the foundation. As we love ourselves more, we're able to release those things that no longer serve us. As we love ourselves more and feast on more love, then we're able to fast from those things that don't fill us, that don't empower us, that don't grow us. Love is the answer. Love, tolerance. Love, encouragement. Love, praise. Love, acceptance. And love, friendliness. I want to encourage us as we are laying the winter to rest and walking towards the spring, as we are moving out of this time of the full moon to release, and in this sacred season of Lent, what are those things that we can fast from to make room for us to feast more on love? I close our time together with this quote from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We must discover the power of love, the redemptive power of love. And when we discover, we will be able to make of this old world a new world. We will be able to make men and women better. Love is the only way. Namaste and have a beautiful Sunday.